Hodgson's been in the job 5 minutes and he's walked straight into this row involving Rio Ferdinand. Now, what do you think Hodgson means when he says it's football reasons? Because clearly Rio doesn't know what it means because he tweeted what reasons and a load of question marks. So what's your understanding of what's going on here?
Well, when I first saw that, I thought, well, football reason, is it because of what Sir Alex Ferguson said, that Rio can't play more than one game in every 4 days? Or is it because Rio's coming to the end of his career and he wants some younger players to go into the squad? It needs to be clarified because after the players have gone out injured, Cahill's gone out injured, and Lampard's gone out injured. He's bought Jagielka. Well, is Jagielka a better player than Rio Ferdinand? No, of course he's not. And even if Rio can only play 1 game in 4, and he's going there as backup, you want your best player to go there as backup, surely. And now Rio is a world-class defender, and I think the way he's been treated is a little bit shabby. And so for him to say footballing reasons is a nonsense, especially after the squad that he picked with Stuart Downing, the form he's been. No disrespect to Stuart Downing. If you're picking an England squad for footballing reasons, Stuart Downing wouldn't be in that squad.
Right. Now, John, why haven't, not you personally necessarily, but you and your colleagues really pressed Bernstein, the FA, and Hodgson actually, and said, look, what does this mean? Is it that Terry and Ferdinand can't play in the same team? Is it that we're concerned Ferdinand might have an injury and he won't stand up to 2 games in a week or whatever? Or is it that Hodgson just doesn't rate him as a defender? Where do we stand on this?
No, the talking point really was when Roy Hodgson named his squad at Wembley and unveiled it, and then that's when he made this infamous phrase now, football reasons. And afterwards, when the newspapers sat down with him, I mean, he was very limited in the questions that he actually took from the TV and radio guys. When he sat down with us, he really was at pains to stress that this is a football decision. There was nothing to do with the John Terry.
Does anyone seriously
politics.
believe that?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I don't. No, I don't.
Exactly.
And look, but that's what he was offering forward. We then pressed him on the fact that Sir Alex Ferguson had actually gone public on the fact that he was doubting whether Rio Ferdinand would be fit enough to take a very active role in the Euros.
Even though he's played 30 games for United.
Well, exactly. And again, that wasn't the issue. Now, playing devil's advocate here, I think the only thing I can offer is, does it become a football issue if your 2 centre-halves can't stand the sight of each other, wouldn't feel comfortable in the same squad, let alone play alongside each other in the same team? Now, I feel uncomfortable that basically Rio Ferdinand might have been edged out. I also perhaps feel uncomfortable that the FA have also, on the back of that same reason, have taken a stance on John Terry to remove the captaincy from him. If they feel that they need to be proactive and take action against John Terry, who, let's stress, is innocent until proven guilty, why on earth are they comfortable in taking away the captaincy and yet not then making a stand and saying, you're not welcome in the squad?
It's a halfway house, isn't it, Leroy? What I'm curious to know is whether you think this is Roy Hodgson's decision or whether the FA are actually saying, Roy, you can't pick Rio.
I think it's Roy's decision.
Right.
I think what's happened is the FA have acted, they've taken the captaincy away from John Terry. Now let's put aside that John Terry is alleged to have abused Rio's brother. Put that aside, because a lot of people are saying, well, that's the reason why he's out there.
Yeah.
Put that aside, and just the facts are that in a football club, you can't have that situation. It's going to cause problems. It's going to cause problems because Rio is close to a lot of the young players in there, and they're going to side, and it's going to cause factions. But you don't come out on the side of the person who might be the guilty. You come out on the side of the other person who is Rio Ferdinand. So it's a nonsense. They put themselves in the corner. The FA have said to Roy as he's gone in, he said, right, you're the manager, you make the decisions, we'll back you 100%. But they didn't do that with Capello. So if they've done that with Capello walked, now all of a sudden they've changed their stance in my opinion and said, Roy, you pick what you think is the best team. And Roy's thought, well, I need to have John Terry. He's a diehard spirit. He represents what England are all about, and I'll have to put that aside because he is innocent until proven guilty. But from my point of view, they've caused themselves a massive problem because he's come out and not been honest. Not been honest and said, look, I just feel that in this situation it's best for me to take John Terry, whether you agree with it or not. Is immaterial. That's what he thinks. And to say it's footballing reasons, it's just totally disrespectful to the centre-half of Man United who's played 30 games this season and he's looked, he's not as good as he was, but I tell you what, he's a lot better than the players in that squad at the moment.
We really want to hear your view on this at home. If you're on Twitter, at Sports Tonight TV, let us know what you think on the whole issue. Really interesting today, John, as well. Rafael van der Vaart's come out and said Ferdinand's one of the best defenders around. Harry Redknapp has inferred that he would have taken Ferdinand had he got the job as England manager. Everyone's coming out on Rio's side, it seems.
Yeah, well, I think Harry Redknapp actually tried to sign Rio Ferdinand, didn't he, a couple of summers ago for Spurs. He's a huge admirer of him. I do think he's becoming a little bit personality-driven. I mean, it's really interesting. I follow a few players on Twitter, and Jay Bothroyd was another one that caught my eye. He said basically he's by far and away the best defender in the Premier League.
Well, of course, Redknapp had him at West Ham, of course.
Yeah,
didn't he?
no, absolutely. Yeah. He has this bond and a relationship with him. I feel it's a bit unfair in a way that Roy Hodgson has been. I think Roy Hodgson has taken a decision. I can't have them both. I've got to choose one. And I think basically if it's left up to him and it's purely down to football reasons, then basically he's made that choice. One or the other, and he's gone for for John Terry, and feeling that perhaps he can't have both for the dynamic.
But he should have explained it, shouldn't he?
He
He should have spoken to Rio Ferdinand and said, look, it's between the two of you, and I'm picking John. It's not because any other circumstances where you would be in the squad, and then Rio would be the man. He would sort this out.
Absolutely.
I think most people agree.
Stay ahead of the game with Sports Tonight Live. Don't miss a thing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search for Sports Tonight Live on Facebook and like our fan page. Follow Sports Tonight TV on Twitter and tweet us your thoughts and opinions. Sports Tonight Live, it's the platform for the fans.